I'm joined here in Qualified Studios with none other than the CMO of Gainsight, Keith Pearce. Keith, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Dan. It's great to be here.
Of course.
Yeah.
So let's jump right into it. So
Let's do it.
obviously you're at Gainsight. You guys are on the forefront of agentic, AI, obviously having Gainsight releasing Atlas, your own post-sales customer service agents. Really exciting. You also hired Piper, to be part of your inbound pipeline generation motion.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about how are you feeling the excitement and momentum with agentic marketing?
Look, we created this CS category and we are riding this wave. And thank you for being on brand with Atlas. Atlas is our family of CS agents, and the kind of work that CSMs do today, Atlas is starting to be an enhancement to them to do, especially for companies with big long tails in their business and they don't have enough people to do renewals. The renewal agent, which is one of the agents in the Atlas family, is starting to do that work for them. So we're all over it.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's great that you're all part of the agentic revolution as well too. We've been talking a lot today about the traditional inbound funnel. Yeah. And, obviously as a CMO, there's a lot of CMOs out there feeling that pressure to bring AI into their marketing processes. What pain points have you felt in the inbound funnel?
I mean, look, I come from a point of view that the funnel was created for a company to measure people going through different stages that they deemed were, a progression of value. That was for the company, it wasn't for the customer, right? No customer says, I'm at the top of the funnel now, or I'm in the bottom of the funnel. What they say is, I'm considering, or I'm thinking about, or I might, or, these kind of things. So I think for me, it's just that friction between departments where we've created these constructs of what qualifies a pass now, what qualifies somebody doing an outbound. And really just getting to what do people need and who are the right people that you want to engage with and how do you get them the information? It might mean that you need you need to talk to somebody very early in their consideration because they were the right target persona, they were the right target account. It might be that you may need an SDR to talk to somebody later in the funnel because they're not the kind of account that you qualify. So I think we have to kind of break this notion of this rigid funnel and these stages that pass and just think about how we really superpower intelligence at the prospect or the customer to get them what they need.
Yeah, and you spoke a little bit about that, the construct of the funnel and even SDRs and how you even had challenges with SDRs in your own business at Gainsight. Would expand a little bit about that?
I mean, look, I'll tell you, the dramatic tension in our story. I found myself down 8 SDRs in February this year. Yeah. Nobody said, well, we'll take the pipeline goal down for you. Yeah. You're good because you're down 8. You're a good guy. The goal is the goal. And so all of a sudden I was like, I've done the nearshore model. I've done the offshore model. I have them in-house. I've had them. And I'm like, I'm not going to go hire 8 SDRs in time to impact this $150+ million pipeline target we have, of which a big chunk the SDRs are carrying. And so we had to go agentic. And what we found with Piper, which we branded Ava, is she's doing the work of 3 SDRs that we never backfilled. She never takes a sick day. She never, has PTO. She works 24/7. And it's not just that that's a more attractive economic proposition. Ava is the most unintelligent right now that she will ever be in her history with Gainsight. Every day she makes just leaps in what she can do and what she knows. And it's all about how we can fuel her with more intelligence so that she can deliver the right experience to customers. It's been fantastic.
Oh, I love hearing that. Yeah. But first of all, before we dive a little bit more into Ava, tell me a little bit why you named her Ava and how did you?
It was, we are marketing folks. We love naming stuff. You know this, right?
Yeah.
And as marketing people, there's nothing better than premium swag for internal people. They're like, customers get the stuff. So we ran a contest. Some of the best swag was on the line, which, it gets marketers out of their caves. And so it's kind of fun.
Yeah. And I think that's always great because it's obviously bringing on an AI agent, making it more human-like is very helps everyone obviously see a little bit more of the agent being part of the team.
Yeah. It created great buy-in for us and not us meaning the SDRs as well. Right. Because obviously, they're sort of saying, is this someone that's going to cannibalize my job?
Yeah.
And what they're realizing is actually Ava is helping with a lot of the smaller accounts that they don't have time to to go through because there's just too many of them. So we're getting great scale. And they're doing a lot of follow-up work that Ava is qualifying up front where they can do intelligent prospecting, which Ava is doing as well for people that have come to the website, and we haven't been able to engage them with outbound email capabilities. So we've gotten great.
That's awesome. Love hearing that. Well, I mean, thank you so much for being a qualified customer. Obviously, we spoke a little bit about this, but tell us a little bit more about why you chose qualified and the impacts that you're seeing.
We knew we had over 100,000 unique visitors a month coming to the website, still do. Yeah. And we knew that there was some real gold in there. And we literally were seeing less than 1% conversion in the web chat functionality we had at the time. And I just said, our targeting can't be that off. You know, people don't come to Gainsight for anything other than CS. They know who we are.
Yep.
And so the idea was, how do we get a better engagement channel on our website, a more intelligent channel, and something that would grow and learn over time as we grew over time, and gave us more coverage.
Yeah.
Not just in segments, but in geos where we weren't today. And that was some of why we chose Qualified and Piper. As I said, she gets better every day. We do more and more things. I think the lesson learned for us is we needed to consider Ava as an employee that needed to be onboarded and enabled just like an SDR would. But we're getting 4 times better conversion from the website than we had before. And the AEs, half of what comes to them that are named accounts, and their meetings booked directly on their calendar. This is not something that's going to a human SDR that they're going, Dan, do you really mean to? They're like ready to go. They want a demo. They want to talk to an AE. Yeah. So it's been fantastic.
Well, when you say 4X, I get chills because it's great to see it working, and I just appreciate you being a great customer. But
of course,
the innovation doesn't stop. Obviously, you said Piper is getting better. With the announcement of PiperX today, you just saw a demo of everything. She's full funnel, multi-modality for voice, text, and now video. So tell me a little bit more about your reaction to the PiperX news.
I mean, it's fascinating. It's super exciting. It's like the future is now, right? I think on a couple of levels, as marketers, we've been chasing hyper-personalization and one-to-one for 30 years, right? And I think people are more and more attuned to when they're being targeted and when they're being followed around with ads. Yeah. And so when you invoke through your own will an engagement with a company, you want that to be super intelligent and super smart and super contextualized. And that for me is the most exciting thing. And we talked about, go back to the funnel. We talked about what are these mechanisms to move somebody through the funnel. I think that's a fantastic way to do that. Just getting people what they need.
Love it. And I can't wait for Gainsight to bring on PiperX more into your business too. Last but not least, just to wrap this all up, obviously the future is very exciting. What is the most exciting for you as a CMO?
I mean, around agentic, we've lived this world the last 3 years now of there hasn't been growth, right? And it's been hard. I mean, being a CMO is a lot more fun when there's growth and there's budgets and there's resources and there's hiring going on. So I look at the notion of agentification as a 10 to 20% GDP. The super evangelists are saying we haven't seen that kind of economic growth in our lifetimes, Dan, right? So imagine economies that are growing that fast because of agentic and because of the productivity benefits that it brings. And then as a marketer, I think all good marketers like to experiment a little bit. I think you have to, because there's not just a single playbook. People's behavior changes, cultures change. And so it's the ability to experiment and see what agentic can do. That's the stuff I'm super excited about. Growth and experimentation.
I mean, well, I couldn't have said it better than myself. And, obviously it's about growth, experimentation, and being a great CMO. So Keith, thank you so much for the conversation today. Really appreciate you being a customer.